I found out my best friend sold my soul to demons. I, 28, have always considered my best friend, Sarah, 27, to be like a sister to me. We grew up together, went to the same schools, and shared everything with each other. I trusted her completely and never doubted her loyalty. One day, as we were hanging out at her apartment, Sarah seemed off. She was fidgety and avoiding eye contact with me. I asked her what was wrong, but she just brushed it off and said it was nothing. I should have known then that something was up, but I brushed off my doubts and continued to enjoy our time together. A few days later, strange things started happening to me. I would hear whispers in the dark, see shadowy figures out of the corner of my eye, and feel a sense of dread washing over me. I chalked it up to stress at work or lack of sleep, but the feelings only intensified as time went on. One night I woke up in a cold sweat, feeling like I was being watched. I saw a dark figure standing at the foot of my bed, its eyes glowing red in the darkness. I screamed and scrambled for the light switch, but when I turned on the light, there was nothing there. I tried to convince myself it was just a nightmare, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. I decided to confide in Sarah about what had been happening to me. I thought she would be supportive and understanding, like she always had been in the past. But when I told her about the shadowy figures and the whispers, her reaction was not what I expected. Instead of showing concern or disbelief, Sarah's face twisted into a sneer. She laughed coldly and said, "I know what's been happening to you, and I'm the one behind it." My heart sank as her words sunk in. I couldn't believe that my best friend, the person I trusted most in the world, would do something like this to me. I demanded an explanation from Sarah, begging her to tell me why she would do such a thing. That's when she revealed the truth. She had sold my soul to demons in exchange for wealth, power, and a life free from consequences. I was speechless, unable to comprehend the betrayal and deceit that lay before me. The first conflict erupted between us as I struggled to come to terms with what Sarah had done. I felt a mixture of anger, confusion, and devastation. How could she betray me like this? How could she put my life and soul in danger for her own selfish gain? As the days went by, the sinister presence in my life only grew stronger. I could feel the demon's influence creeping into every aspect of my existence. I was plagued by nightmares, relentless whispers, and a sense of impending doom that followed me wherever I went. I confronted Sarah again, demanding that she undo what she had done and break the deal with the demons. But she refused, claiming that it was too late to turn back and that the consequences of her actions were out of her control. I was left feeling helpless and alone, grappling with the harsh reality of my situation. The tension between Sarah and me escalated as the demon's presence became more pronounced. I could no longer ignore the sinister forces at play in my life, and I knew that I had to find a way to free myself from their grip. But with Sarah unwilling to help, and the demons growing stronger by the day, I felt like I was fighting a losing battle. The fallout from Sarah's betrayal was catastrophic. I lost my job, my relationships suffered, and I felt like I was losing my grip on reality. The demon's influence weighed heavily on me, dragging me down into a pit of despair and hopelessness. I knew that if I didn't find a way to break the deal and reclaim my soul, I would be lost forever. Update: the demon's presence has grown even stronger, their whispers echoing in my mind day and night. I can feel their malevolent gaze upon me, watching and waiting for the moment when they can claim what is rightfully theirs. I am running out of options and time, and I fear that the worst is yet to come. As the conflict between Sarah and me reached its boiling point, I couldn't help but wonder if I was the one to blame. Had I been too trusting, too naive to see the signs of her betrayal? Should I have seen it coming and taken action before it was too late? Am I the asshole for letting this happen to me? As I sit here, haunted by the demon's presence and the weight of Sarah's betrayal, I can't help but feel the growing sense of dread and despair. Will I ever be able to break free from this nightmarish situation? Or am I doomed to be a pawn in their twisted game forever? The cliffhanger looms before me, the uncertainty of what lies ahead hanging heavy in the air. I am left to ponder my next move, unsure of where to turn or who to trust. My soul is on the line, and the demon's grip tightens with each passing moment. Only time will tell if I can break free from their hold and reclaim what is rightfully mine. The days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months as I continued to grapple with the demon's influence, the betrayal of my best friend, and the looming sense of danger that followed me everywhere. I tried everything in my power to break free from their hold, seeking out every possible avenue for help and salvation. But no matter what I did, the demons seemed to always be one step ahead, their grip on my soul tightening with each passing moment. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of darkness, with no lifeline in sight to pull me back to the surface. The weight of my situation pressed down on me like a heavy boulder, threatening to crush me under its immense pressure. As the days turned into nights, I found myself plagued by increasingly vivid nightmares and hallucinations. The demons' whispers grew louder, their voices echoing in my mind like a sinister chorus. I felt like I was losing my grip on reality, teetering on the edge of madness as the darkness closed in around me. I knew that I couldn't continue on like this, that I had to find a way to break the deal and reclaim my soul from the clutches of the demons. With a newfound determination, I set out on a quest for answers, seeking out anyone who could help me in my time of need. I stumbled upon a group of occult experts who claimed to have experience in dealing with demonic entities. Desperate for a solution, I sought out their guidance and expertise, hoping that they could offer me a glimmer of hope in my darkest hour. They led me through a series of rituals and incantations, promising that they could break the demon's hold on me and set me free once and for all. But as the rituals unfolded, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The air grew heavy with foreboding, and I could sense the demon's presence lurking just beyond the veil of reality. Panic gripped me as I realized that I had walked straight into a trap, a web of deceit spun by the very forces that sought to claim my soul. In a desperate bid for survival, I tried to flee, to break free from the clutches of the occult experts who had lured me into their twisted game. But it was too late. The demon's influence was too strong, their grip too tight to escape. I was dragged back into the darkness, a prisoner of my own making, trapped in a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. As I lay there, bound by invisible chains and surrounded by the malevolent presence of the demons, I knew that I had reached the end of the line. The bitter taste of betrayal lingered on my tongue, the feeling of hopelessness settling in my chest like a heavy stone. I cursed Sarah for her treachery, for selling my soul to the highest bidder without a second thought for the consequences. And as I stared into the abyss, the demon's eyes gleaming with malice and hunger, I knew that I was truly alone. Betrayed by my best friend, forsaken by those who claimed to help, I was left to face my fate in silence. The conclusion of our story left both sides hating each other, a rift that could never be repaired, a wound that could never be healed. And as the darkness closed in around me, I knew that I was doomed to spend eternity in the clutches of the demons, a soul lost to the shadows forevermore. Was this person in the wrong? Comment down below and make sure to like and subscribe.